people that writing the rules. Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really want to do. And lonely at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, that's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah. They know I'm going all in. Through the blood and the sweat, y'all know me close to being done yet, I'm going all in. I've been down from the jump. Ain't no love lost, we just really doing us. Go and take your seat, looking silly getting up. Y'all know what it is, let me tell them what it was. It was 24/7 on the grind, one thing at a time. Hard to understand, kind of person got the state of mind. We was making moves every day, getting things in line. You could go and say what you want, but believe that I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah. They know I'm going all in. Through the blood and the sweat, y'all know me close to being done yet, I'm going all in.
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered Live, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Yo, folks, I'm in the building, man. If you are here, leave a comment, hit the like button. Let me know you're in the building. Lester, what's up, my guy? Always here, man. I always appreciate you, bro. Do you work, man? Or are you retired? Because you are here all the time, man. Do you sleep? I love you, man. I do. I need to send you something. When you're in the Philippines, I need to send you a gift or something like that, bro. Because I appreciate you always being here, man. Thank you so much, my man. Folks, man, this show is sponsored by Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm Natalie Lopez screams and cries in the background. As that's my son. So let me do this commercial again for you, Natalie. Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. She practices in the areas of criminal defense and family law. Based out of Fort Lauderdale, you can reach her at 954-888-8833. That's 954-888-8833 on Instagram at nat.guilty, nat.guilty. She will fight for you. And for anyone who called her and told her that I would pay your retainer if you needed to call her, please don't do that again. She's like, I never said that. But definitely do give her a call if you ever find yourself in a pickle, man. I know shit happens in life, and you need a good attorney, and so give Natalie a call, man. I appreciate her continued support of the show. What's up, AJ? Welcome aboard. What's up, Jake? What's going on? Appreciate you as always. Yeah, Lester goes back to my WNBA days, man. He was one of the Caitlin Clarkies, man. We're a Caitlin Clark family here as well. I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan, so man, I appreciate all y'all coming on board, man. I just finished up being a guest on Cafecito con Canes with John, man. So if you don't subscribe to that show, please do subscribe to Cafecito and Canes. Great show. Happy to be a guest as always. What's up, Greg? I appreciate it, man. Just hit the like button, man. That's what I need. Hit that like button and leave your comments. Let people know that you are here. Let people know. Share this content with folks. Let everybody know. Last night I did an impromptu live. Well, see, what happened was, so let me explain why we had to reschedule from yesterday to today. What happened is I didn't go to sleep yesterday. I was up. I did Sunday Night Heat with Ben Daniel from the Ben Daniel podcast. Shout out BDP. Go subscribe to him. He talks about everything, man. Great guy. Great show. Ben Daniel podcast. And we had our Sunday Night Heat. And then I don't know what I was doing, but I was doing work for my actual job. What's up, Wild Child? Welcome aboard. I'm doing my regular job work because I'm a sales guy, and I'm a VP of strategic partnership, basically a vice president of business development. for my company. I cover South Florida from Sarasota down, well, Venice down on the Gulf, and Vero Beach down to Key West on the Atlantic Ocean side. And so I work at all crazy hours. And I was doing work, and then I think I recorded a couple of videos to post, and then I was doing some shorts, and the next thing you know, it was like 5:30 in the morning, and my kids had to go to school at 7:30. What? Yeah, I don't know why my wife is long suffering. She just said I have no idea, but um, yeah. So I didn't go to sleep, and oh, okay. You're a structural engineer. Okay, so you work from home too. I work from home as well, so that allows me the freedom to do the things that I do, which I'm greatly appreciative for. But yeah, so I didn't go to sleep. So next thing you know, it's 7, and I take my kids to school like at 7:15, 7:20. I get home. I had to take my wife's car for the day because there was some issues with the tires, so I had to go take the tires to get changed. But I got home. I laid in bed at about 9, and I just couldn't go to sleep because I knew I had to wake up in like 30 minutes to go take the car. So I was like, nah, I just got back up, took the car to get the tires fixed, got the tires fixed, picked up my kids from school because I had to pick them up early at 1 o'clock because I had to take my younger one to the doctor. He broke his finger on his right hand, his middle finger, um, kind of a serious break. And he, thankfully, at this point, he doesn't need surgery, but we'll know in 2 weeks if he needs surgery or not to repair the avulsion fracture in his on his middle finger. Next thing you know, I come home. It's 4 o'clock, and I finally went to sleep. I finally went to sleep, and I slept till about 7:15. I knew I had to go do grocery shopping. I go grocery shop. I'm like, yeah. I get home, and then I pop on Ben Daniels' podcast, and I see this crap with the WNBA and the fact that two of the executive board members did not show up to the CBA meeting that they were crying for with the ownership. They didn't show up for whatever reason. Apparently, Unrivaled doesn't have planes, they don't have private jets, and they don't get there in time, or they don't get there at all. So I did an impromptu live last night at like 11 o'clock at night that ran till about 2 o'clock in the morning on women's basketball, which is where I started most of the podcast from, was the women's basketball arena, space. And that went for like 3 hours, man. So here I am right now. But again, I wasn't gonna do. I didn't plan that, but I saw Ben's podcast. I was like, oh my god, are you serious? After all that, they didn't show up. What's new? Can't be surprised. But here we are, folks. I see your comment there, Greg. I'm ready to go. Like, I have not been so excited for a season in a long, long time. This is it's an exciting time to be a Miami Hurricane. If you're a scammer, Jake, hey man, as long as you don't scam me, I'm good. Uh, it's been a long time since feeling this good going into an off season to where I'm looking forward to covering the team in spring football. I hate spring football. I'm not a person that enjoys watching practice. I've never been into that. There are people that love it. I have never loved it. I don't like it. And I'm actually excited about going to check this stuff out, whatever they allow us to see, if it's a scrimmage, if it's I don't know what they're going to let us see. It's been so many years since I covered it, but now we're sitting here. The transfer portal is complete. We have our number one quarterback. We have a beast of a wide receiver in Cooper Barkett. We got Vandrevius Jacobs. Who's the other? Was it Cam Vaughn? And you're joining Malachi Tony, who right now is on this world tour signing cards for Leaf. I need to know when them Leaf cards are dropping because I got to go get myself a whole stack of autographed Malachi Tony cards for the personal collection. I'm a big card collector. See, I got I'm a card collector. I have a little card shop on the side, and but those will not be for sale. Those are going into the personal collection. But yeah, I saw him on social doing some work. He got honored by the Miami Heat. They brought him on. Was it Sunday against the Bulls? They gave him a jersey. This kid is changing the world right now in the Miami Hurricane space, man. It's crazy. I was just talking on John's show on Coffee with Canes about the impact of like the Malachi Tony impact. It's like there's a with women's basketball, it's the Caitlin Clark impact. With Malachi with Miami, man, this impact of Malachi Tony is incredible. He has changed the opinions and the minds of so many people, you know, especially in South Florida where it matters. To where now you're gonna have a whole lot of young guys that want to be Miami Hurricanes, and that's I'm gonna give him those flowers. It is because of him. It is not because of anyone else too. It's because of Malachi Tony that the mentality of South Florida has shifted to where when people were asking in the playoffs, when Miami was going to play Ohio State, who do you got? You got Miami or Ohio State. You got Mally or Jeremiah Smith. A large majority of them were saying Malachi Tony. That is earned. That isn't given. He earned that. And he has earned that from the local community. It's you don't get that gifted to you. You got to take it. And he's taking it. And I love it. You know, so I'm so excited for the success of that kid and what he's done for this program, this school. And I mean everything that he gets, he's earned, man. You can't say enough good things about him. And I mean we'll continue to sing his praises on this show because I've been singing his praises all year, like from the beginning, from the first game and where he balled out against Notre Dame, and I'm like, you saw something special. And by mid-season, I was calling him the best player in the country. Like I don't know if people remember that. I was calling him the best all-around football player in America. And I had a bunch of Indiana people tell me that walking out of the national championship game. He is the best football player in the country, and yet ESPN drops him as a number 26 in their top 100. Like, if that is not the most insulting pack of garbage ever, number 26. Come on now, man. That's just that's outrageous. That's outrageous. 109 catches, 1,200 plus yards, 13 touchdowns. One of the top punt returners in the country. Played quarterback, played running back. The blocks like an absolute monster. Does everything that you ask, is everything that you want in a player. Gets there early, leaves late, puts in the work, puts in the films, does it all. I mean, this kid is freaking. This kid's crazy. I did a full video on that. Let me pull it up. For that top 25. Let me just hit a couple of comments here. You know, I'm not. I mean, I get being nervous about the first game at all times, but I don't. I'm not. I'm not tremendously concerned about our first game at Stanford. I'm genuinely not. I'd be more concerned if we had to walk out there with a freshman quarterback, just being completely transparent. With an experienced guy like Mensa and the weapons that we have all around him and the running back room that we've got coming back, which is absolutely bananas and crazy. Oh wow! Just by the way, James Harden got traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just if you're interested, if anyone in the NBA, James Harden got traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland. Wow. Um, Let me pull up that. I'm still waiting to see if Miami Heat makes a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is currently injured. By the way, that's typical Miami Heat trade. Um, yeah, yeah, I feel you, man. Born in Key West. Do you live in Key West right now, or are you did you move? Do you live up here in the Miami area? Just curious. So yeah, it's apparently they got Draymond Green involved in some trade talks. That would be great. I'm sure Golden State wants to get rid of that bum. He spends most times getting ejected than he does playing. Let me see. Let me find that. Let me find that thing that for with the top 100. Uh, let me see right here if I can find it. Um, yeah, ESPN top 100 football. Okay, so number 25. These are the guys. I'll read you everybody. I'll read you everybody ahead of Malachi Tony. Number 25, CJ Allen. Who? Anyone know who CJ Allen is? I mean, you let me know in the comments. He played, he's a linebacker for Georgia. He had 3.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery, and 88 tackles. They got this kid right ahead of Malachi Tony. 24, Dante Moore. Give me a break. Number 23, Julian Sane. Come on now. Number 22, Lee Hunter. Do you know who Lee Hunter is? He's a defensive tackle for Texas Tech. He had 34 tackles, 8 TFLs, and 2.5 sacks. I would challenge you that he's not better than Ahmad Moten. Come on now. 21. This one will make you laugh. Does anyone know who 21 is? Y'all want to know who 21 is? Seriously? 21. Is Casey Concepcion. Casey Concepcion is number 21. He had 61 catches, 919 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He was the top punt returner in the country. He was named an All-American all-around player for the all-around position, utility guy, whatever you want to call it. Are you kidding me? Like, who the hell thinks that Casey Concepcion had a better year than Malachi Tony? This is not based on where you think someone would get drafted. This is not based on their classification. This is based on what they did in 2025. So it was in 2025. So we're sitting here ranking Casey Concepcion, who the Miami Hurricanes knocked out of the. I mean, they made Casey Concepcion not want to return punts anymore. And they got him ranked 5 spots ahead of Malachi Tony? I mean, we need to stop this. Number 20, Kawan Lacey. Number 19, Ahmad Hardy, running back out of Missouri. Number 18, offensive tackle Carter Smith out of Indiana. Number 17, Arvell Reese, linebacker at Ohio State. Number 16, D'Angelo Pons out of Indiana. 15, Leonard Moore out of Notre Dame, DB. Number 14, Caden McDonald, defensive tackle at Ohio State. The guy that James Brockermeyer destroyed in the playoffs. Destroyed. Number 13, Makai Lemon. Number 12, Francis Mauigoa. Number 11, Spencer Fanu, offensive tackle out of Utah. Number 10, Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M, defensive lineman. How is Cassius Howell ranked ahead of Akeem Mesidor? Akeem Mesidor, by the way, is number 28 in this list. How is Cassius Howell ranked ahead of Akeem Mesidor? Number 9, the 5'9.5" Diego Pavia. 5'9.5". Oh my God, that guy's been. They had him listed at 6 foot tall. He measured for the Senior Bowl at 5'9.5" around there. Come on now. Number 8, this one will make you laugh. Jeremiah Smith. How is Jeremiah Smith ranked so damn low? Like, what are we doing here? Number 7, Trinidad Chambliss. Number 6, Jeremiah Love. Number 5, Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. Number 4, Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech, linebacker. Number 3, David Bailey out of Texas Tech, outside linebacker. Number 2, Ruben Bain. And number 1, Fernando Mendoza. I don't think there's a person on earth that would argue that Fernando Mendoza was the best player in college football. Would any of you in this room argue that Fernando Mendoza was the best player in college football? This isn't a Heisman race. This isn't something looking for All-Americans or AP this or whatever, All-American that. This is the best player in the sport. If Malachi Tony ain't the best player in the sport, he's among the top 4, top 3, all around. Like, I'm not talking about his position. I'm not even saying that Malachi is the best wide receiver. I think Jeremiah Smith is a better wide receiver than Malachi Tony. I do. But Malachi Tony would be number 2. Malachi would be number 2. So, but all around, Malachi Tony does more for his team than any football player in the country this year. This isn't next year. This isn't 2 years from now. We don't know what will happen next year. We can presume. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that this kid wasn't among the 2 or 3 best players in America. I think he was the best. That's for you to decide. but I'm basing it on production results, what he did, not what you think he might be. I had someone say, "Oh well, he was ranked there because he of where he wouldn't be considered a high draft." Man, bullshit. If Malachi Tony could turn pro this year, he'd be a top 10 pick. He'd be a top 10 pick if he could turn pro this year. Like, there's not a person on earth that's watched that kid play and said, "No, I'm not drafting that dude because he's only 5'9". Get out of here, bro. He's a playmaker. He's a playmaker. We need to stop the noise with that. Like, that dude is special, next level special. Yes, Cassius Howell, Giovanni, Cassius Howell is ranked 18 spots ahead of Akeem Mesidor. Please. The same Cassius Howell that against Miami had one tackle. Dude had one tackle. Oh, Matt Hancock, you've returned to freaking troll my show? Come on, guy. You're here to troll my. Yes, he's the number 2. I said he's the best all around player. I think he's better than Mekhi Lemon. I've seen them both play. Malachi Tony does not get tackled on contact. Well, Keontae Scott was ranked 38 in the ranking. He was at 38. So just so you know, number 2 was Ruben Bain. Number 26 was Malachi Tony. Number 28 was Akeem Mesidor. Number 38 was Keontae Scott. I'm sorry, 37 was Keontae Scott. Carson Beck was 49, and Mark Fletcher was 75. You know who wasn't ranked there? Gunnar Stockton. The guy that people on TV were saying was better than Carson Beck. But hey, that's conversation for another day, I guess. Where would I rank Caleb Downs? I think Caleb Downs is a top 10 player in the country. I'm not going to argue that all that much. I'm not. I think there's a certain love affair that these people have for Ohio State and for Georgia and Alabama and Notre Dame and obviously now Indiana. There's a love affair for Indiana. And they earned it. They earned it. You want to know what I thought was really funny in this top 100 that we're sitting here talking about? Is that the guy that they said was better for Indiana was Elijah Surratt, yet he's ranked like 20 spots behind Omar Cooper. Elijah Surratt was ranked number 76 behind Mark Fletcher, while Omar Cooper was ranked 55. Yet most people I heard when they talk about Indiana where they talked about Elijah Surratt. You know, I mean, Indiana fans can tell me who they think was better, but I mean, nationally, I was always hearing Surratt. But you know what I mean? I don't know. No, Jacoby Thomas did not make the rankings. I thought that was a joke. Like, listen, Mark Fletcher at 75. I'm not gonna kill it until I see that they have a guy from James Madison ranked number 41. From my bad, Jacksonville State. Cam Cook ranked at 44. And there was the running back from Nebraska, Emmett Johnson, at 40. So they got these guys ranked way ahead of Mark Fletcher, which I thought was a bit crazy. But to have the guy from Jacksonville State, who the hell did the guy from Jacksonville State play all year? Who the hell did he play? Like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. That's insane. That's insane. Mind you, they got Arch Manning at number 58, and yet you got people that think that Texas could win the national championship. So it's like, I don't know what the hell he's done that's been so damn impressive. I'm sorry, Gunnar Stockton did make the list. He's at number 64. I think they put. Did I miss? How did I miss him? He's 64. I thought he wasn't on the list because I went through this list like 5 times. Like, I even typed his name and it didn't pop up. So maybe they added him. Maybe they heard me. I don't know. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Gunnar Stockton was 64. Carson Beck is 49. So I stand corrected. I don't know. Pons is a really good player. Pons is a really. I mean, look, man. Pons is a really good player. You know what the problem with Pons would be? This is the problem. This is the problem. Here. We could bring this. Since it's been mentioned, we could bring this topic up. This is a topic of conversation because a lot of people. No, Ahmad Moulton. The problem with Ahmad Moulton was he got hurt. So it's a little harder with him. I think Ahmad Moulton's going to be the next coming. I think Ahmad Moulton's going to look like Warren Sapp next year. I've said that on multiple occasions. But Ahmad Moulton dealt with injuries this year. I mean, when he was out there, he was a killer. Um, but he did miss games, and that, or he was limited in games because of injury. Like let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He missed 3 regular season games. I'm sorry, 4. Well, he played Notre Dame, Notre Dame, Bethune, USF, FSU, Louisville, Stanford, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. He missed 4 regular season games. So, and that hurt. That hurt us. If you want to look back at it, he didn't play against SMU. If we had him against SMU, I mean, we beat SMU. He alone, we would have beaten SMU. He was that impactful as a defensive tackle. But the thing about these guys that, like, the criticism that's been levied at Miami coaching staff, the staff or whoever, for not recruiting or not going after Pons hard or going after Fernando Mendoza, for example, is they weren't good enough. I mean, they weren't good enough. So we could have actually recruited them. We could have signed them, and they would have sat the bench. They wouldn't have played. And that's one of the biggest issues where people like kind of lose their shit about stuff like this, is like, yeah, we could have gone after those guys, but they would never have gotten an opportunity. Mendoza was not that good in high school. He was good enough. Mendoza had no offers until Cal offered him at the last second. Mendoza was going to Yale. Think about that. He was going to Yale. He wasn't good enough to get a Division I offer in Florida. Central Florida did not offer him. South Florida did not offer him. He gets offered by Cal, and he goes to Cal. He wasn't that good at Cal. He was 6-6 last year at Cal. He just went into a great situation at Indiana. All credit to him. All credit to that team, to Signetti and those guys at Indiana. But he wasn't heralded as this second coming of Christ. Like, I mean, even though he's always thanking God. I think Indiana started the season ranked off like number 20, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I can confirm that real fast. I think they were start off the year like ranked number 20. Preseason rankings. Indiana started the year off ranked number 20. 20 in the AP and 19 in the coaches poll. So no one thought much of Fernando Mendoza going to Indiana. Realistically, nobody did. He ended up in a great situation. And even if you want to be totally forthright and transparent about it, he only won the Heisman because they went undefeated. Because if they had lost to Ohio State, Julian Sain would have won the Heisman. This was the weakest Heisman race in my lifetime, realistically. And that's not being, dismissing him, but this team largely based its offense on running the football. They weren't a pass first team. They were a run first team. They ran typically about 45 times a game and threw the ball about 25 times a game. I think Mendoza only threw 31 times, once the entire season or twice. So when you should like them being ranked, and I'll tell you why in a second, New King. Let me tell you why. So you have a guy who was in a situation where he's throwing the ball 25 times a game. This guy threw. You know who Fernando Mendoza looked like this year, and people can crack at me if you want to. He looked like J.J. McCarthy. He was J.J. McCarthy. I got my dumbass sons in the background telling me, what? No, he was J.J. McCarthy. No, it's not wild. It's not wild. He was J.J. McCarthy, people. I think a lot of us understand what I'm talking about. Michigan ran the football. Listen to Fernando Mendoza's stat line this year. He threw for 193 against Old Dominion. He threw for 215 against Oregon. He threw for 233 against Iowa. He threw for 168 against UCLA, 201 against Maryland, 218 Penn State, 117 versus Purdue, 222 versus Ohio State, 192 against Alabama, 177 against Oregon, and 186 against Miami. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sub 200-yard seasons, games. 6. He threw for less yards than Carson Beck. He threw for a lower completion percentage than Carson Beck. And he won the Heisman because they beat Ohio State 13-10. Because Ohio State's kicker can't make a 27-yard field goal, whatever that was, 22-yard, whatever, however that field goal that he missed. And because Ryan Day is an idiot. That's why he won it. I'm not disparaging his. He had one game over 300 yards passing all year. One game. And these are facts. And he got a Heisman for it. I mean, these are facts. He threw 31 times against Oregon, Old Dominion, and he threw 30 versus Penn State. Part of my preview was if you make him throw the ball 35 to 40 times, you're going to win the football game. And we still had a chance to win that game despite him only throwing the ball 27 times and then running it 45 times. Their game was based on the run, man. Same as Michigan. He's JJ McCarthy. Maybe it may be slightly better, but not by a whole lot. Not by a lot. Any one of the top 6 guys last year would have won the Heisman over Mendoza this year. Any one of the top 6 guys last year. Any one of them. Any one of them. So my response to the question if I don't know if I like Miami being ranked so high in the beginning of the year. Well, you should want them to be ranked as high as possible. And here's why. You lose, you drop. You don't want to drop out of the top 12. The way this thing is constructed now, Notre Dame's being guaranteed a spot pretty much as long as they go 11-1. If they go 11-1, they're going to be in the playoffs. You don't want to be in a position where you're number 12 for whatever reason, even though we should not be. You don't want to, you want that privilege that if you lose a game, you don't drop from 6 to 14. You'd rather be ranked number 1. I mean, realistically, the fact that Miami's not in the top 3 in most projections is crazy to me. The offense is going to be absolutely freaking elite. The defense is going to be elite. Like, this team is the team that this is the team that you were thinking Cam Ward's offense this past year's defense. I think this defense is going to be better than 2026. I genuinely believe they have an opportunity to be better in 2026 for a variety of reasons. But the AP poll matters. The polling matters, and people kept blowing me off and dismissing me on my comments about the poll. The polls matter because those morons on that CFP don't actually watch football. They get a stat sheet, they get a score sheet, and then they get the AP rankings who say, "Oh, these guys are who's good." I hate that people get ranked before week 6. There should not be any rankings before week 6. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a whole bunch of SEC teams beat each other. And their rankings will all stay the same because they'll just flip-flop each other over and over again. And they'll say, oh, these are good losses. These are good losses. So, whereas if Miami loses a game in conference, which they should not, but if it happens, it could be against a 9-3 team, and they'd say, oh, it's a bad loss. It's a bad. They ain't gonna be. They won't have any need for trick plays this year coming up, in my opinion. So. It's really, can we stop? Stop. Seriously. Hey, sorry, folks. I got two stupid, a 12 and a stupid 12-year-old and a stupid 14-year-old. They would say a 9-3, a loss to a 9-3 Syracuse, for example, was a bad loss. Like, let Alabama loses to Oklahoma by 3 touchdowns a couple of years ago, and they don't drop. They barely drop. Miami loses to Syracuse, who's 9-3 on the road, 42-38. And what happens? Miami drops out of the playoffs from like 6 to 13. Or 6 to 12. And Alabama magically jumps them. And they had just lost a week earlier to Oklahoma by 3 touchdowns, and Oklahoma was a 5-5 team. What's up, Jason? Thank you for jumping on board. Appreciate it, man. Let me give a shout out to everybody in the room: Jason, Lester, Greg, New King, Aiden, Giovanni, Matt Hancock. I know you're coming here to. I know you're coming here to troll me. Nasa Jones. Let's see who else I see here. If you're in the room, man, leave your comments, man. Wild Child, Jake Tapper. Yeah, and AJ. Appreciate everyone who commented so far. Yeah, so rankings are critical. They're very, very important. In fact, you should want to have as many ACC teams ranked as possible because it's a big problem. It is a big problem scheduling wise when look, we already know that these teams are not respected. What's up, Ed Quinn? Like they're not respected, but at the same time, even when Louisville was 7-1 and ranked in the top 15 in the CFP, they still said that our loss to Louisville was a bad loss. Yeah, to us it was a bad loss, but it should not be considered a bad loss in the grand scheme of the scheduling. They were 7-1. I don't have any argument there, Aiden. I agree. I agree. But yeah, so we have to. You want to be ranked. I mean, I know the mentality is, oh, if you're not ranked higher, you're more hungry. But yeah, there's a lot of things that can happen if with that ranking situation. You lose the wrong game and you're in a bad situation. There are no games, Gio. I agree. There are no games that are gimmies and like there are no gimmies. Like we have to. Is our schedule great? No, I would say no. But listen, what if Clemson goes 9-3 or 10-2? I'm not saying they're gonna, but what if they do? A win at Clemson's a humongous win. That game is big, man. That is not a give me game. I mean, I think we should win. But it's not a give me game. It's not some easy game. What's up, novice gamer? They are clear as day. Yeah, I would agree. They're held to a level because people just hate us. I made a T-shirt that says they hate us because they ain't us. I mean, that's what it is. They hate us because they ain't us. It is what it is. You got to be real about it. By the way, if you haven't checked out the merch, I forgot to put the banner across the bottom. If you haven't checked out the merch site, man, go check out the merch, man. We got a bunch of T-shirts up there. Go to hurricanesunfiltered.com, and you do follow us on social media as well. But go to hurricanesunfiltered.com, hit the merch link, and there's all kinds of T-shirts in there, man. So I appreciate y'all supporting it. Thank you so much in advance. Yeah, they hate us because they ain't us, man. We are held to a much higher standard. Let's not act like these days. Yeah, in theory. I mean, in theory, yeah, but who on the schedule from the ACC do you really believe has a chance? Like, seriously, has a chance. We play Stanford, Wake Forest on the road could be an interesting game. Clemson, Florida State, home versus Pitt, North Carolina, at home against Duke. We're going to beat Duke by 60. Virginia Tech at home and Boston College. That schedule is not striking any fear in me. We don't play SMU this year. We don't play them. You worried about Florida State? I ain't worried about Florida State. Miami's going to beat Florida State by 30. Miami's going to absolutely run FSU off the field. Do y'all know what FSU's got going on right now? Oh, my God. Their offensive coordinator just retired. Gus Malzahn just retired. He retired. You know who, and you want to know who? Now, look, man, Tim Harris Jr., he just got named offensive coordinator at Florida State. Tim Harris went to Miami. He's a track star at Miami. I don't know if y'all know that. His brother is Brendan Harris, played football at Miami. He's from South Florida. I'm a little bit disgusted that he's coaching Florida State. I think it's such. I think it's sacrilegious that you could coach at Florida State when you played at Miami or you went to. Oh my God, I think that's just sacrilegious right there. Like, ugh. I'm not worried about Pittsburgh. Not at home. Not at home. I'm not. There. I don't think. No, we can't lose focus. But I don't like if you look at this schedule. And I don't think Mario Cristobal is going to allow them to get complacent. But I'm going to give you an example. Florida State. Florida State just lost their offensive coordinator. Their starting quarterback is going to be Auburn's backup. Ashton Daniels? Is that his name? Ashton Daniels? He was Auburn's backup last year. That guy can't throw. Ashton Daniels this past season was 68 of 119 for 797 yards, 3 touchdowns and 2 picks, 57.1% completion. Bro, we're going to slaughter that team. We're going to slaughter them. This guy sucks. He's their starter. I worked with somebody who told me FSU has taken all of my joy away. I think you'd be better off having Harris call the plays because I think Norvell will screw it up worse. But yeah, I guess Norvell's calling the plays, so Tim Harris isn't conflicted, I guess. Yeah, Mark, and you know what? That Mark Richt coaching at FSU thing when you're a Miami quarterback is disgusting. It's so sickening to me. That's just crazy. It would be hilarious if FSU beat Bama on the road. That would be absolutely freaking hysterical. And you know what they would say? Already know what they would say. Oh, it was the first game of the year. You cannot hold that against Alabama. You can't. Yeah, Ice better be calling the game for Ice Harris. I've known Tim Harris's dad and him and Brandon for Jesus, 20 plus years. Great high school football coach at Booker T. Washington. I know he went somewhere else. I don't know where he's at now, but he was at Booker T for so many years. Yeah, man. That's who FSU's got playing quarterback. Like this kid wouldn't be our fourth stringer. Do we even have a fourth string quarterback? He wouldn't be our fourth string quarterback. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I don't know if they can beat him again, but we'll see. No, FSU spent all their money on that stadium, and it's the same reason they can't fire Mike Norvell. I know this for a fact. Like I know that for a fact. They can't fire Mike Norvell because of that stadium. They would have to have an absolutely catastrophic finish. No, I'm sorry, catastrophic start to next season for them to fire Mike Norvell during the season. They don't have the money, and their boosters do not want to pony up the cash. They gave up so much money to build that new luxury stadium. When they build up one section of the stadium, really, and it's so fucking stupid to me. Like, oh god, it's so dumb. Who the hell wants field level seats anyhow? Any of y'all ever sat field level for a football game? You can't see anything. They're the worst. It's like the first row in a movie theater. You ever been to a movie theater and you're at the first row and you're like this the whole damn night? And you come out, your neck is sore as shit because you had your neck up like that for freaking 2 hours. That's the equivalent of going to having field level seats at a football game. You can't see shit. God forbid if the field level seats are behind the bench. You're looking at a bunch of 6'3", 260-pound dudes. It's crazy. And if you're in the end zone, well, you can see you can see the end zone, but you can't tell where the ball is at. You're watching the television screen. And so, yeah, they build a bunch of field level boxes and some suites. And now they can't fire their coach, even though he's terrible. Even though he's terrible. Yeah, they suck. They're gonna be awful. I just don't see it. I just don't see any game on this schedule that that truly worries me. Like, yeah, a slip up is bad though. Like you can't slip up. At the same time, again, if Clemson is a 9-3 team or a 10-2 team, and when we give them one of those 2 or 3 losses, then that's a good win. But you want to know what that's worth? Not much, because they still probably won't be ranked. Or if they're ranked like 24th, because the ACC gets no goddamn respect. They get no respect as a conference. Yeah, they have the sidewalk seats on the visitor side primarily. They don't love y'all. They don't care about the visitor side. They want to give you those park benches right there, man. Those high school bleacher level type seats. They don't care about us. They want their own comfort. I don't think we're gonna lose a game. I mean, and I'm never that guy. I don't think we're gonna lose a game. Clemson versus LSU game is must see TV. Why? Why is Clemson versus LSU must see TV? Tell me why. Because I don't know that I mean, if it's not competing with a Miami game, then sure. I mean, it shouldn't be because we're playing on Friday, Thursday, and Friday. Who made that schedule? Who made that schedule? I tell you what, I mean, the first 3 weeks of the season, I'm going to have a whole lot of opportunity to watch everybody play because I'm not going to have to watch anybody. I won't have to watch a Hurricane game on the weekend. That is the one benefit of the Friday, Thursday, Friday start off is that I don't have to worry about watching Miami on the weekend, so I can watch everybody play, and I'll know a lot more about the country earlier in the season than I did this year because I had to watch a lot of guys after the fact because Miami played so many damn home games early on that it was hard to watch more college football. Yeah, Clemson LSU was a huge game. Both those teams stunk. Because those are the two guys that they had projected as Heisman favorites, and both those quarterbacks were freaking horrible. I do believe that Dawson can get them there. Look, man, he had Cam Ward. So it wasn't like we didn't have the best offense in Hurricanes history with Cam Ward. We did. That was the best offense Miami's ever had. So I don't see why he couldn't get us there. I just think he has to get out of his own way. I do think that the fact that Mensa will be able to get spring ball in, playing, practice in the summertime. He's gonna have a lot of opportunity to work with the team. He has his number one go-to receiver come with him down here in Cooper Barkett. That's humongous. Like that type of stuff is invaluable. It's something that Carson Beck didn't have because he was recovering from an elbow injury. So he didn't get those opportunities in the spring or in the early summer to really get working. So that's humongous in itself for Mensa. Yeah, I think that they have so many weapons this year that it's hard to not be successful offensively. I think Miami will have their best offense ever this year. It would not shock me if Miami's averaging 45 plus a game, plus 500 to 550 yards a game. Bigger game for us, Clemson or Virginia Tech? Well, there are different times of the season, so that's if they one's at home, one's on the road. The bigger game is I like someone. Okay, bigger game from what perspective? I think the Clemson game is a tougher game because it's a road game and it's a tough place to play. Virginia Tech could either be really good or really bad, or they could just be average again. I don't know. James Franklin, I don't know how many guys he brought over from Penn State player wise, but even if he did, Penn State has been a consistent choke job in big games. James Franklin is diseased against winning big games. So I don't know. I don't know there. Um, Cam Ward would take the check down. He had hero plays, but he would have some plays. Okay. Like Cam Ward would take the check down. He had hero plays, but he would have some plays that will cost you. I mean, Cam Ward did have us plays that cost us big time. I mean, realistically, we had no business winning that game versus Cal last year. No business at all winning that game. I mean, Cam Ward was a large reason why we were losing, and then he was he was the reason why we won. So, I mean, the fact that he was just so damn good that he could actually in one game completely flip the script and go from you're looking like this to looking like this in the same game is crazy. But that was the type of talented player he was. You know, I don't think Virginia takes a route. I don't care about I don't care about rivalries. I don't believe that. I don't believe the hype of rivalries anymore. Here's why: these guys don't know each other anymore. The rivalries no longer exist because the culture no longer exists for these rivalries to flourish. We just play Florida State. Do you really think Florida State today is a rival to Miami? I think I'll ask you that question. Do you really think that? I mean, I'm gonna leave that question out there. Do you think that Florida State is really a rival right now to Miami? My opinion is no, and my opinion is no because FSU is so bad right now. They're so bad. Like we would have to play the worst possible game ever, and they would have to play the best possible game ever to be on the field with us, let alone beat us. So and not to mention the players keep recycling. So you don't get that personal competition like back in the 90s and 80s and 90s. Like you knew, like Michael Irvin knew he was going to line up in front of Deion Sanders, and he knew that he was going to face him the next 3 years. You knew that when you're playing Florida State in the 90s, you're going to see Marvin Jones, you're going to see Derek Brooks, you're going to see Andre Wadsworth, Peter Bulware, Renard Wilson. You're gonna get Corey Sawyer and Clifton Abraham and Terrell what was his last name? Terrell T Buck, Terrell Buckley. These guys you saw every year. And similarly for them, the same guys. Like it was like this year. Okay, so now they're gonna have a new quarterback. We got a new quarterback. How many of their players from last year's team are going to be playing on this year's team? I mean, it's not. It just these rosters change so much that whole rivalry, they don't even understand it. That's just the big thing I have. So, and Virginia Tech, not. If you do, you do. I don't. Rivalry shit doesn't mean shit to me anymore. It's yeah, I want to win, but I don't think it makes them play any differently. Watch this guy's tape if he has as much time. Oh my God! If Darian Mensah has the time that Cam Ward and Carson Beck, I mean, if y'all remember, there were plays in which Cam Ward just stood there. I mean, he just stood there. Carson Beck had a lot of plays where he could just stand there. If you give him that kind of time, and look, I'm not gonna even blow smoke up your ass and sit here and tell you that the offense line is gonna be just as good as last year. It's not. But I think that it'll be good. I think it'll be a good offense line. I think there won't be any problems. But I don't think that by any means will it be the line we had this year. Just in size. I mean, these guys were like, I don't know if y'all realize how big these dudes were. Like I'm standing next to Markel Bell, and I'm not 6'5", I'm 5'10", but I'm 5'10", 250. This guy is 6'9", listed at 345, 350. Markel Bell don't know 350. Markel Bell got to be pushing 380. He's huge. And if he weighs 350, that is a muscular ass dude. He is huge. Inez Cooper, huge. Massively sized dudes. Huge. Maui Ngoa, oh my God, that guy's humongous. It's crazy how big those dudes are. So yeah, I can see a lot of blowouts. A lot. I mean, I can see a lot of blowouts. This year's ceiling, national championship. If we're not playing for the national championship, I'll be upset. We're if we're not if we're not winning it this year, I'm upset. Like this is why the culture is changing and the mentality's changed because even the most optimistic fan on the planet in the past knew like yeah this team isn't in that this team isn't a championship level team like in the past years like in 2020 and 2019 and so forth like you knew these weren't contending level teams no matter how much you wanted to convince yourself of that like you knew they weren't so no this year though national championship like they are prime they are built to win the whole damn thing the Cal game um oh no when Cam threw that pick to make it 35-10 it's like oh my god dude like how dumb of a play was that like if you want to here's the funny thing if Carson Beck made that same play people would call him the biggest piece of shit on earth. But because Cam gained that respect and that trust, largely based on his actions, because he didn't have national media members taking a shit on him every single opportunity that they could. Carson Beck had to deal with so much more than Cam Ward from a national media perspective. Like, okay, we got this guy at Washington State that no one's really seen play, was 6-6 last year. Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll be good, but he ain't gonna be that good. No, he's that good. You put him with some real players, he's that good. Carson Beck came from Georgia, where all they could say was mean stuff about him and call him all kinds of names and say he sucks or this, that, and third. But yeah, he was 24-3 as your starter. And your receivers last year couldn't catch a cold at Georgia. Like they were horrible. That wasn't on him, So yeah, that but if Carson Beck had done that throw that Cam Ward did, oh yeah, people would have been killing him. The boys up north are broke. who's the running back that FSU got? I mean, you want to clue me in on who they got? You mean from the you talking about freshman? A freshman running back? Because I don't know who the hell they got in the portal. I have no idea. Florida State. I mean, you saw that game this year. It was terrible. What preseason top 10 do you think will disappoint next year? Okay. I'm gonna go based on some of these projections from some of these guys because there's no top 10 team. There's no preseason top 10 right now. Because so I've seen Notre Dame, I've seen Miami, I've seen Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon. It all depends on what you would view as disappointing. I think I've seen let me pull up Josh Pate. I think it all depends on what your definition of disappointing is. Because without having that thoroughly defined, you could, it might not be so. Okay, let's look at this. So we got the way too early 2026 college football playoff. You got Miami at 1, Notre Dame at 2, Texas at 3, Indiana at 4, Texas Tech 5, Georgia 6, Oregon 7, Ohio State 8, LSU 9. That's crap. LSU is not going to the playoffs. Stop it. Stop it. Don't want to hear it. What am I looking for? Josh Pate. All right. So he's got Notre Dame 1, Texas 2, IU 3, Ohio State 4, Oregon, Miami, Georgia, A&M, Oklahoma, and LSU. I think the team will be the most disappointing team will be Oregon. I don't believe in Oregon. I don't believe in Oregon at all. I don't have any belief in Oregon. I don't think Dante Moore's that good. I don't believe anything about Oregon. Yeah, I mean, the one of them played, the other one didn't play really at all. So, 400 what? Um, 400 what, novice gamer? Yeah, man, Aiden, if we catch the damn ball, like we win the national championship. OJ Frederic dropped an interception in the end zone, hit him in the chest, and the stomach, him right in the stomach, catch the ball, and that drop allowed 3 points to score. And then we had a drop pick six, I think it was, from Ethan O'Connor, or what could have been a pick six. That hurts. The penalties that we had, those hurt. Just the basic mistakes hurt us. I mean, realistically, the talent level, it's not close. Talent level is not close. Miami's talent level is not just head and shoulders above everyone else in the ACC. It's like the gap is like the Andreas fault. It's huge. There's no the gap between us and everybody else in the ACC talent wise is massive. Name me. Oh, sorry, folks. I'm sleepy. Shit. Name me the second best quarterback in the ACC right now. Quick. Don't look. Who's the second best QB in the ACC right now for next year? I mean, I think we all agree that Darren Mensa is the best one. So who's number two? Let me know what you think. Who's number two? Because I'll let y'all answer. Your stands are high. I'm not arguing with that, novice. I'm not arguing with it. I'm not arguing with it. 40. The talent level could produce that. The only thing that would not produce that is the fact of the clock and the fact that there's less time now per game because of the way they run the clocks and the stoppages of the clock on the first downs. Because now it stops only for a brief second, and then they start it back up because it's all virtual, which is all bullshit. But I wouldn't disagree with you. I could see it. Oh, I agree. I agree. So the running back's name is Sands. Okay. Yeah, I mean they were fine, and then they until they weren't. They were fine until they weren't. Okay, the Cal kid. No, wait. Most of our players from here know him well. I coach OJ and CJ. Chris Ewald stands a score of us 4th and 23 to win the fucking game. Okay. Okay. You coach OJ. You coach OJ. What? Frederic? You say CJ. CJ. What? CJ Daniels or some other CJ? Chris Ewald. Is that CJ? Okay. No, I think the Cal kid. I do agree with the Cal. I think I saw someone put the Cal quarterback. But I think our talent gap has been enormous. Oh, 400. You think Markel Bay weighs 400 pounds? I mean, he could. It's possible. Do I think the program will be mentally focused? Oh, I think they'll be very focused. I think I made a T-shirt, by the way. Here, you want to see the T-shirt I made? If y'all are interested, go over to the merch shop. I appreciate y'all supporting the merch shop. Stuff is high quality stuff. I hope everyone who's bought it enjoys it. Everyone who has purchased has told me great things, and they appreciate the quality of the stuff. But I made this shirt because I'm gonna tell you this is the credo for next season. This is what it is, man. This is next season is 2026 is about this. 1000% about this. Unfinished business. It's you with the unfinished business. That's what this is about, man. 2023, 2026 is about unfinished business, man. I don't think that they're going to be allowed to get complacent, to get relaxed. I can see one of these. I can see one of these guys stepping up in the locker room, like a la Ed Reed, and really vocally taking over and put my heart in this shit, man. Joaquin said, dominate. We're not doing that. Put my heart in this shit, man. Let's fucking go. Like you can see that coming from somebody. I don't know who. It could be a younger guy. It could be a Bryce Fitzgerald. I can see that from him. It could be a Mod Mode. I can see that from him. He's an older guy. But you could see it. I don't know that I see that. I don't know that I see Malachi Tony doing that stuff. I think he's more quiet. I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong. I think he's more quiet when it comes to that stuff. Because he always does this. Keep your mouth shut. Yeah, I think Oregon will be the one that disappoints. I'm not impressed by Dante Moore. They play a certain style of football that allows them to get their asses kicked in the playoffs. I'm not expecting much from them. I mean, Ohio State. Let's look at their schedule first because I think scheduling matters. If their schedule is shit, then it'll be hard to beat them. Real hard to beat them because the schedule is a major part of it. You get a real gauntlet of a schedule that can be very very tough. Ohio State, so they play Ball State, they play at Texas. That could be a loss. Kent State, Illinois, Iowa, Maryland, Indiana, at Indiana. Okay, at US. Okay, all right. So they do have a bit of a gauntlet. They play Texas, but then they have a 3-game stretch in 4 weeks at Indiana, at USC, and versus Oregon. That will be a much tougher schedule for Ohio State. But you know what that does when they play like that? When they play a schedule like that, Ohio State can go 2-2 in those games. They're going to make the playoffs. Why? Because all four of those teams will be ranked in the top 15, maybe top 10, maybe top 10. Right now, if Josh Pate has Indiana at 3, OSU at 4, Oregon at 5, and USC at 11. Like, that's real shit. That like you could if you can go and win against 4 top 11 teams and Texas is at number 2, like you beat 4 top 11 teams in the first the first 70 weeks, the first 8 games. Like you go 4-0 against those teams in the first 8, you have earned yourself, or first 9, you've earned yourself a mulligan. They could lose 2 of their next 3 and still be in the playoffs. I think Miami is going to look like that, Duke. I genuinely do. They have arrived. They're back now. They have arrived. They look like a team that's going to be very very tough to deal with for quite some time. The Cal QB is really good. Does Jennings have another year? I believe so. Let me check. We don't play them, so only way we would see SMU is in the ACC championship. I mean, he's played 4 years. Does that mean he has a 5th possible year? Yeah, Kevin Jennings will be back for number 20 for year 20 for the year 5. He'll be with SMU for SMU. Clemson is talented, but they're not talented like Miami. Clemson's quarterback situation is still up in question. That I don't know. There's a quarterback that makes it gets you scared. Alberto Mendoza is not the second best quarterback in the ACC. Like we can take a breath there. I the guy's thrown 20 passes. Are we ranking him now because of his brother? Like, come on, nah. He could be good, but to sit here and say that he is the second best QB in the conference, I think is a major stretch. OJ played receiver. Of course he did. I mean, every DB in college typically plays wide receiver in high school too. It doesn't mean they can catch. Because hey man, you need to work on OJ's hands because that interception that he dropped in the end zone was very tough to watch. Like we dropped so many picks in those last two games, it was painful to see. Um, Omar Thornton is petrifying, bro. I take it you're talking about little league football. Where do they play little league football at? Because OJ played at St. Thomas and Thornton played at American Heritage. I don't know where did Chris Ewald play? He played where did he play? I should know this stuff, shouldn't I? I apologize. The recruiting stuff, man. I don't. I'm still getting. I gotta get better at it. I'll be real. Where'd he go to high school? Chaminade. Okay, Chaminade. All right. I absolutely think our receiver room is way better this year. I think our receivers have the opportunity to be the best unit in the country. I don't foresee Malachi Tony having 109 catches again, but I could foresee three receivers with 75. I could absolutely see that happening. I have this. I think this kid. I think Mensa is gonna have a Heisman level season. He's gonna have. It's gonna be like playing with toys, man. Like, which toy am I using today? Which receiver am I gonna make the focal point today? Like, you can't just key in on one guy. And that was a major thing with Malachi Tony last year. It's like we had to create ways to get him the ball because if you try to get him the ball in pass patterns that anything more than a swing pass or a slant, it was hard because they would bracket him. So you had to put him in different positions to put the ball in his hands. If you have three high end wide receivers, and I think we have at least three, I think we got four. You got Malachi, you got Barkett, you got the Van Drevius Jacobs, and you got Cam Vaughn out of was it West Virginia. You're talking about four dudes that can make plays. And yeah, we got Josh Moore coming back, and we got Dylan Upshaw coming back. Was it Dalen Upshaw coming back? I mean, you got guys coming back that are going to be serious. Um, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I'm not trying to. So you have a lot of weapons there, and I think that's something really special. So you don't have to focus on one guy. You can't. We'll pick them apart. I agree. Where'd you get that from? I got one too. I got one too. Did you get it from the Transformer Hurricane? He used to wear the Transformer mask. He made those. He actually made those T-shirts. Maybe somebody else made T-shirts like that as well, but he made those T-shirts for a little bit. Sounds like Fletcher. Maybe I missed something. I don't know what we're talking about, but I would like to see. I would love to see Pringle play more. I think Pringle is going to be sensational. I think Pringle's going to be sensational this year. I have major expectations from him. I think we could legitimately have 2,000 yards backs. This offense, maybe I'm crazy. This offense is going to be fucking elite. It's going to be absolutely elite. I could very well see us with 2,000 yard backs and a 4,000 yard quarterback in the regular season, not including the playoffs. I could genuinely see Darian Mensah breaking 4,000 yards passing in the regular season and having 2,000 yard backs. I think our offense is going to be scary good. Uh, yeah, I mean Michigan. Michigan, Iowa. Yeah. Ohio State has a tough run this year. They're not going to get that cakewalk they had last. If Ohio State runs the table and goes 12-0, they earn that shit. They earn that shit. They will have earned that. Miami receivers outside of Malcolm Tony and CJ. You know what? Marion got better as the year went on. I don't think CJ Daniels ever recovered after he got hurt. Seriously now. I mean, I talked to him in private before the national championship, and I didn't ask him about it specifically if he's really 100%. But I don't think he ever got back to what he was prior to getting hurt. The guy's dealt with injuries for so many times in his career. I don't think he ever got back to the way he was playing, because he was playing a lot better before he got hurt. And then he came back and he was kind of insignificant. He was like getting spot time and such. We definitely need to see Joshua Moore step up, because he's a big target. That's a guy that you would love to be able to just throw jump balls to in the end zone. Like, you would love to have that 6'4", 225-pound guy who just goes up and snatches it at the peak, and where a DB's got no chance. Like, that's a guy that you need, that you would love to have a dude like that. Like, that guy, like that dude on a back shoulder throw, because of his size, would make it so hard to defend. I mean, it's a UFO ball. It's an impossible ball to defend if it's thrown properly. But with his size, you would have no shot to defend that ball. He would just be too big. Ahmad Moten he's Warren Sapp, man. I'm maybe committing some type of criminal activity here by comparing anybody to Warren Sapp, but Ahmad Moten looks like Warren Sapp out there. He wears 99. He is incredible. The fact that he weighs 325, I stood next to him. I interviewed him in person as well. That dude does not look 325. He must be a lot of muscle, because I look at him, he doesn't look that big. He's big. He's bigger than me, but he doesn't look that, like, put it this way. At media day for the national championship, Ahmad Moten and Inez Cooper were walking around with each other. And when I'm interviewing the both of them, like, I interview both of them. One here and the other one here is making faces at the one here. And then vice versa. They're making faces at each other, messing with each other, trying to make them laugh while we're doing the interview or what have you. Inez Cooper is sizably bigger than Ahmad. Like it's very, very obvious. He's 3 inches taller. He's definitely bigger. Like, he's wider. He's just big. And Ahmad Moten is a big dude, but dude, he looks small next to Inez Cooper, which also makes it look like there's no way this guy's 325. But then the way he moves, the way he moves is just so impressive. Yeah, I wish we had played them too, because I thought that would have been perfect for Mario's culmination, was to beat Oregon. And I think we all know that Miami would have crushed Oregon. I agree. I think he's a bit. I think Joshua Moore is going to be a very, very important piece. Well, I'll put it to you this way: would you rather have him on your team or against your team? Because the reality, first of all, I didn't realize that he was an 8th-year guy. I didn't even know he was a 7th-year guy last year. I thought he was in his 5th year. I thought he was a grad transfer. I didn't realize he was a super duper senior transfer. Like, I had no idea, because I didn't think to go look at it, because no one ever talked about it. It's interesting when media focuses on shit. No one ever mentioned that Mo Toure, or at least I didn't remember seeing it, that he was in his 7th year of college football. But you forgot that he missed 2 seasons due to major injuries. He missed 2 seasons. And then he got the COVID year. So he's had multiple red shirts and so forth. So, I don't disagree with you. I think that something has got to get done about this. I think the only reason that people care now is because he's going to be a major component to the Hurricanes defense. If he was, who was the guy that we had who was a 9th-year senior last year, the tight end? Was it Cam McCormick? If you had a guy like that who barely plays, who's not considered anything good, then no one gives a shit. It's a joke, right? But when you have a guy like Mohamed Toure who will decapitate your ass and who will give up his life to beat you, I mean, we saw it against A&M. He knocked himself out cold to separate the ball from Ruben Owens the third. When you have a guy like that, that's when people start saying, I don't know about this. This isn't right. He's too old. He's 25 playing 20-year-olds or 18-year-olds or 19-year-olds. Really? Well, I don't hear I don't hear people voicing that when he plays for Alabama and he's a sixth year guy. I don't hear anyone crying when it's Ohio State, or I don't hear anyone crying. I didn't hear anyone from the national media criticizing Indiana for having a seventh year running back. Kalon Black, the guy that kind of kicked our ass in the national championship, that guy was a seventh year running back. He was in his seventh year. Hemby did not create the problems for us. Black did, because Black ran like he was a grown ass man. He ran like a grown ass man. So yeah, I guess I guess it won't sit well with me. But if we're winning a national championship, I won't give a fuck. Yeah, we do. I think we do. Um, no, I say little league. I'm talking about little league. Yeah, I'm talking about. I mean, the one guy said he coached those guys, so I'm guessing did he coach him at? I don't think he coached him at Chaminade because Malachi Tony didn't go to Chaminade. He went to American Heritage, and Frederico went to St. Thomas. So I can only presume he was talking about little league football, like 10U, 11U, 12U, something like that. I mean, I'm not sure that. I'll do that later on. I'll do that after the spring. It's a big pickup on the defensive line from Ohio State. That's a big pickup. Lily, okay. Yeah, that kid Omar Thornton, man, he's like Jacoby Thomas all over again. This guy he looked like a goddamn monster. He looks like a guy that loves to just absolutely take people's heads off. He's probably playing in the wrong generation in time for football, because that guy would have been a monster as a freaking in the 90s. Like, he would have killed people. The stuff I've watched on him, he would have killed people. He would have killed people. Him and Jacoby Thomas were at the wrong time in life. They would have been looking to earhole everybody. Everybody. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, he's a freshman. I mean, it happens. What do you mean? No, no, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, the Kane store on 595 and University. It's there. Caneswear. Caneswear is west side of on the west side of University going south. So the wide receiver room is going to be massive. Like, no, look, man, you're going to earn your stripes, man. This is going to be. I'll tell you right now, Adidas should have a massive campaign for the Miami Hurricanes. When I say a campaign, first of all, we should have like 16 different uniforms that we could change at halftime of games. We should have like 16 uniforms. We should have the Oregon level of Oregon level amount of uniforms for the Miami Hurricanes. We should have a chrome uniform. I want to see a chrome uniform. They might as well. And it should be based on earn your stripes. Like, you got Adidas's whole thing is stripes, earn your stripes. You're gonna have to earn this shit next year. Like, there's no, you fuck around in practice, bro, you ain't gonna play. Like, it's gonna be that simple. You fuck around in practice, you miss a class, you do something stupid. I got a room full of dudes that's ready to go. I mean, I got a room full of dudes ready to roll. You got 4 running backs that are ready to roll. You got receivers ready to go. I mean, you got a bunch of dudes ready to go. And some people got mad at me for not mentioning Chris Wheatley Johnson, I think his name is. Sorry, when I made the post for the running back room is intact, I didn't think about him because he didn't really play. So I was talking about the guys that played. Could very well be. I mean, it's a possibility. I think that we averaged 537 with Cam Ward in 13 games. What's that number? 13 times 537. That's 6,981 yards in 13 games. I think it's very doable. Mario was the head coach of that team. Mario was the head coach of that team. If we go to a national championship, you're looking at 8,000 yards. That's my opinion. Agreed. That's Malachi Tony, man. That is the byproduct of freaking baby Jesus, man. That is the Malachi Tony effect. I mean, what he did was so amazing. He changed an entire opinion and attitude of this program more than anybody, because he is that local guy that chose not only to go to Miami, but to enroll early, to reclassify up, to play this year, to do all that as a 17-year-old turning 18 in September. That's what he did. And these younger kids, they're loving it. They're emulating him. They worship him. You could hear it in their voices. I remember when I heard one. I remember a couple years ago. Maybe it was last year. I think it was last year. I was watching some 7-on-7 video or what have you, or some I don't know how it came across. Maybe it was from the South Florida Express. Brett Getz in his program over there. They always have the best 7-on-7 team pretty much every year, or one of the best in the country. And they were asking the quarterback, "Who's the most famous guy you know?" What do y'all think this dude said? This was last year, so it was before Malachi Tony. What do y'all think this dude said? I love this. Love to see. I'm trying to catch up to y'all comments because y'all going fast. No. If anyone has a guess, I'll gladly take the guess. Let me hit this finger. I believe it. They won. I mean, Alabama has what, 7 or 8? I don't know how many. How many has Nick Saban got? 7 at Bama. He got 7 at Bama. He's got 1 in LSU. LSU's won what, 2 or 3 others. Florida has a couple. Georgia has a couple. Auburn has 1. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, because they were able to stockpile 5-star guys with money bags. Like the second that NIL hit, the shift happened immediately. It happened immediately. They haven't had a team in the national championship the last 3 years. A team. Last year it was Indiana, Miami. This year Indiana, Miami. Last year it was Ohio State and who? Notre Dame. The year before that, Michigan and Washington. They haven't had a team in the national championship in the last 3 years. The guy that this quarterback said the most famous person he knows was Jeremiah Smith. This quarterback said the most famous person he knows is Jeremiah Smith, his former 7-on-7 teammate. I thought it was the funniest shit I ever heard in my life. That's Malachi Tony now. He is that guy for these young guys in Miami now. I mean, he's changing. His presence has changed. He came at the perfect time. Perfect time. And he does everything right. He does everything right. Like the whole situation, I don't know if any of y'all saw my video on my commentary on Luke. If you did, I hope you enjoyed it. Before I jump in, did anyone watch it who's on this in this chat right now? Did you watch my commentary on Luke? I had some people come back at me. He replied to one of my shorts, actually, just so you know. He did reply to it. He didn't really he didn't really comment. He kind of gave some information, and he didn't want to get it. Listen here, we can go blow for blow, man. We can. I invited him in my podcast to come on my podcast. He can speak what he got to say. I'll eviscerate him. Like, do not ever sit here and tell me that you are still a Hurricane supporter while saying the shit that you say about this program in a public fashion. Like, it's one thing to criticize the coach. I'm all for it. You can criticize Cristobal all day long. When you start calling the coaches on the team racist, that is a really bad. That is the trigger word for so many people nowadays. But because he has some political belief, that's ridiculous. Like, that's just dumb as fuck. Who do you think Kirby Smart believes in? Like, who do you think Nick Saban voted for? Like stop. These dudes are all cut from the same cloth for the most part, especially the Southern football coach. They're largely cut from the same ideology. Now, but beyond that, the comments about Kevin Beard, those were so low brow. I love that Philip Dorsett defended Kevin Beard. I love that Asante Samuel, the former Florida State player, defended him. Asante Samuel played Little League football at Lauderdale Lakes. I think it was Lauderdale Lakes Vikings. I think it was, or Lauderhill, with Kevin Beard. Like, that's some, like, you saying about that guy, and then it seems to have been debunked that it was a lie. That the mom of that kid Calvin Russell, who went to Syracuse, that because he said that he was reportedly said that Ray Joseph would never play at Miami. Well, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe the reason was he didn't earn it. He lost his job to a 17-year-old. He lost his job to a 17-year-old. And you're sitting here. How about having some level of accountability for your player who'd been there for 3 years and lost his job to a 17-year-old? And it's the coach's fault? The coach didn't develop any players? Isaiah Horton was being developed at a very high level. Isaiah Horton probably would have been our number one option last year had that bitch-ass motherfucker not transferred to Alabama. And then 1 year at Bama, he's transferred to Texas A&M. Isaiah Horton did some bitch shit, man. That was whack. He got developed at Miami. He got developed. He looked really good with Xavier Restrepo. That was some fuck shit he did by transferring. I was shocked. And then I heard why. I was like, really? And you all know what that was told? Exactly what Luke said. They don't feel like they're going to get developed for the NFL. What? We just had a player be a first-team All-American. Malachi Tony was a second-team All-American. Should have been first-team. Second. I mean, come on, bro. Come on now. Don't sit here and then make those statements and sit here and act like you love the program. Maybe you did. Maybe at one point you did, and then the day that they decided to not start Ryan Collins and you started calling everybody racist again and all that fuck shit, and you want to dig up all the bodies that were buried, and you're going to snitch on the program because they wanted to start Frank Costa over Ryan Collins. Guess what? Frank Costa had Miami playing for a 10-1 team against Nebraska in the Orange Bowl for potential national championship had things fallen into place properly. Like, come on now. Ryan Collins wasn't that good. I was in high school when Ryan Collins played at Miami. He wasn't that good. Had nothing to do with freaking race. He wasn't that good. But Luke did all of that. And Luke was part of the reason we had our downfall to begin with. Like that junk is weak and whack to me. And you're going to sit here on a podcast and you're going to rip on these dudes. Like, they just went to the national championship and you're saying this stuff? Come on, dog, man. That's foul. You're not a fan no more. It's okay. If you don't fuck with Miami no more, and then the response that he puts up on stuff, these responses to like Asante Samuels, I can call the Adidas guy. I can do this. Nobody gives a shit. Let's be real. Edison football players, for what it's worth, suck. Edison High School, I covered Edison High School for many, many, many years. I covered high school sports for 16 freaking years, from 1998 to about 2014, 15, around there. And I can tell you this, Edison High School had about 4 years of good football. They had a stretch with Corey Bell as the head coach, who ended up becoming a coach in Miami. Corey Bell, he had this kid Bruce Montpremier, he had this kid Jarrell Guyton, he had Chad Simpson, he had Jeff Godfrey at one point, who ended up at Central. So he had some dudes over there, right? Jackie Claude, who went to Florida State. He had Mark Dial, like he went to USF. He had a bunch of dudes there. Go look at Edison's record over the last decade. They've been horrible. So Ray's your best player that you've had, and he goes to Miami, and you're mad because he ain't getting on the field? How about you ask Ray why he's not getting on the field instead of blaming a coach for it? It's just a weak sister-ass response to something and trying to make up stories about Kevin Beard. Go ahead. You look bad, bro. I don't like it. It is ridiculous. What's the biggest TV deal down in the Big Ten? Yeah, I can imagine. They won the last 3 national championships. They earned it. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. And yeah, I mean, there were people that were all in agreement with me, other people that were like, man, you don't know Luke. Well, I don't give a fuck. Here's the thing. This wasn't about what he has done in the community. I don't care about that. That's not what this conversation is about. I am not discounting his impact in the black community and helping do things at parks, XYZ. Mind you, he got beef with certain people in the hood. I'll just keep it real. From what I was told, there's not the relationship between Luke and someone's daddy who's on the Miami Hurricane football team right now, who happens to wear number 10, ain't a good relationship, just so you know. Don't even know if y'all aware of that. Like there was a beef that's existed or continues to exist between baby Jesus' father and Luke, just so you know. Told by reliable people who know all these folks. So I don't know it personally. I was told this, and I can run with that one because I feel very comfortable with that. But you doing that like that is just not cool, man. It's just not cool. Yeah. So, but again, I'm not questioning what the man has done in the community, money he's brought in for schools, stuff he's done for whatever, for parks, for kids, etc. Tell me why Luke doesn't give a shit unless the kid plays football. Does he have a scholarship fund for academic people, or is it just for football players? Does he have an avenue for football players only, or is it just for football, or does he give a shit about people and having actual brains? Does he care if people got A's and B's, or just care? If you can't play football, I ain't fucking with you. I don't know. You tell me. Who's in the portal again? Who's in the portal again? Portal just closed. Who's in the portal? Isaiah Horton. I mean, yeah, he was in the. Yeah, he's one of the A&M. If you're talking about Isaiah Horton. Oh no! Let me tell you, his politics, bro. If they vote that man into political office, that'd be a fucking embarrassment. I mean, come on. That would be an embarrassment. Give me a break. He can call whoever he wants to call. They only talk to him because they want. A lot of people who are in office now who are younger than him, we grew up listening to his music. I grew up on the 2 Live Crew. It's like, oh man, this is so cool. I got to meet Luke. Except that the Luke that you knew or perceived to have known because of his booty shaking music, because it's not really hip hop, to be honest. It's like it's booty shaking. I mean, I quantify hip hop and the different types of hip hop. I mean, it's like it's dance music in a sense, with explicit lyrics contained. That's a different dude than the one that's portrayed now publicly. You know what I mean? So, but then you hear stuff like he's still in the music business. Like, bro, you're 65. Like, what are you doing in the music business still? Like, like when I see 50-year-olds make rap songs, I'm like, what's wrong? You're 50, bro. Like, that's when a 50-year-old who's been a rapper for 30 years and made millions and millions of dollars is sitting here talking about the dope game. But like, bro, you've been a mega millionaire for more than half your life. Like, the dope game is over. Yeah. Devontae Freeman went to Central. Did he go for this? Did he go to Edison initially? Okay, he left and slid this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he wanted to win. Edison doesn't win. So yeah, hold your player accountable. You're blaming the coach. Don't blame the coach. Hold your player accountable. That's all I gotta say. Hold your player accountable. And that's my problem. I think there's a major problem with accountability with young people today. They've never been told no. They've never had to work that hard, and they've been naturally blessed. And the second they got to work hard, they don't know what to do with themselves. And you can see the guys that have that natural work ethic, and Malachi Tony has that natural work ethic. He just does. Other guys don't have it. They don't have it. And what ends up happening is you lose your job to a 17-year-old. And you're like, oh damn, here I am. I thought I was coming back. I'm the starter. No, you're not. You got to earn that shit, bro. And it's bad enough that when your freaking former high school coach comes out on public forums and starts ripping your wide receivers coach, ripping the offensive coordinator, ripping people and all that crap. Like, bro, he didn't lose his job to some out of towner. He lost his job to a local wide receiver who then it turns out you have beef with his dad. I mean, it's fine. They had beef at Hadley. So, okay. You just confirmed exactly what I was told. Oh, yeah. Horton did his, yeah, he's at Texas A&M now. Yes, exactly what I was told. Exactly. I was told though it was specifically over he was training kids for free and there was a beef or a problem because of it and told that he couldn't be there anymore or something like that. And at a public park no less, as if Luke owned the public park. It's a public city park. You can't tell people they can't be at the park. Who are you? Exactly. That's the point. That exactly. Like that's it's right. It's cut and dry in your face. I come from a world of accountability, man. If you can't own your own shit, like how can anyone how can you can't if I can't get you to own like how can you defend this shit when he doesn't own his own shit? Like that's like bro, you lost your job to a 17-year-old. What's up? What's up, John? Yo, folks, jump on over to go follow. If you, like I mentioned before, when we jumped on here about it about almost 2 hours ago, jump on over to Cafecito, man, and go follow Cafecito and Canes, man. Great podcast. John over there is great, man. So go check him out. He does lives every Tuesday and Thursday. Is it? Is that right, John? Is it Tuesday and Thursday, right? Or was it Sunday and Thursday? Did you just do it this week, Tuesday? Because I know you do it twice a week at 8 o'clock. Put it definitely put it in the chat so people know if they don't already know. But yeah, that stuff was very green to me. I'm not a fan of that type of stuff. There's another guy in the Miami community who's doing the same bullshit. I'm not going to mention his name because he's unimportant. As far as people probably a lot of people don't have any idea who he is, but he's involved in the high school space and he's been talking a lot of shit about Miami the wide receiver coaching and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, you literally if I say too much, then you'll know who it is. But this guy literally claims to love the Miami Hurricanes, but he doesn't. He just dogs them on public forums. There's immature reason. When I played for Luke 135, Luke and 150 said they would let us wear their gold jerseys and then broke the promise and never let us wear them. That doesn't surprise me. I'm not. That's not at all who I'm talking about. Not at all. Not at all. If you're thinking that no, and he's not, believe it or not. I actually got to know him. It's not. It's not what you think. It's not what you think, man. I'm telling you right now, it ain't what you think. Not him. It ain't him. I've actually met him and I've taught him. I've had deep. I had some real conversation with him, bro. It ain't him. He covered up. He protected a lot of people, man. Me? Why did I move to Tuesday? I didn't move to. You were here when I was explaining it. I thought, bro. You were here when I was explaining it. I didn't sleep for like a day and a half. I needed to sleep. I didn't sleep, bro. I had my Sunday night show. I started doing some other recordings. I started doing work for my full-time job. I'm a salesperson. I did some work for my full-time job, and I did some recordings. And next thing you know, it was 5:30 in the morning, and my kids had to go to school at 7 a.m. So I knew I wasn't going to go to sleep. So I took them to school, came back home, had to take my wife's car to get her tires fixed. She took my truck. I took her car. By the time I was done with the tires, I picked up my kids to take him. My son had broke his finger. I took him to the doctor, and I didn't get home till like 4 o'clock. I went to bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. No, we're gonna be back on Monday night. Don't worry. Monday night's my night. Monday at 9 p.m. That's my night. So this was just a one-time thing. And I did do a live podcast last night on women's basketball. I will say it was impromptu. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, I've slept like 3 hours over the last 48. I don't sleep a lot. Quite honest, I don't sleep a lot. No, I slept 6 hours today. So yeah, 9 hours the last 40. I don't sleep a lot. Yeah, it ain't him. I'm telling you right now, it's not him. I mean, I'll tell you right now, dude, he got traded for Jeff Epstein. He got traded for Jeff Epstein. They protected Jeff Epstein. They buried him. And the stuff that he's been accused of, it wasn't really what happened. My son is 12. My son is 12. He's a basketball player. He's left-handed, but he has an avulsion fracture of the right middle finger. So his finger right now is doing this shit because this bone popped. It's a chip off of the bone. It's like the bone broke off of the bone. So now he's in a splint to push it up like this so that it can heal, because it's like in the middle section where if it's 25% or less, then you don't need surgery. If it's 50% or more, then you need surgery. He's in that 25 to 50% range. So now what we're doing is we have him in a splint for 2 weeks to see if the bone reattaches to the bone, starts healing. If it does, then he won't need surgery. If it doesn't, then he's going to need surgery, which I hope we don't need it, because he's in the middle of sixth grade 12U travel basketball. And I know he wants to play, and he's in the Adidas circuit, and it sucks. It's a shitty situation. And you know what? He broke it and kept playing. He didn't even know he broke it. I thought he jammed, and I feel real bad because I was yanking on his finger because I thought he jammed it. I thought he jammed it. I thought he jammed his finger. Like typically we yank it, not. And I said, look, let me know how it feels. It was swollen. He put ice on it. The next day he said he felt better, and but then a week later it was still hurting. So he actually went to a tournament in Alabama for basketball. Kind of explains why he played like such fucking dog shit. But his fucking finger was hurting. I mean, his middle finger was hurt like a lot. It's broken. Like that shit hurts. You're 12, bro. I mean, and yeah, and I feel bad because I yanked it, but typically that's what we did. I remember when I jammed my finger, my coach, it was like, oh shit, it hurt. But then it feels better. But it did feel better. It's not killing him, but it has to heal properly, because if it's not set properly, his finger will be like this and it'll be a big problem. And I don't want to have that happen. So yeah, it sucked. It sucks. I mean, I broke my finger at that age, but it was a regular break, like in the bone. It wasn't the knuckle. Bro, we all do it. Yeah, we all do it. I mean, I did. It was done to me. Because it's a jam finger. Like that's the first assumption. You jam your finger, just pull it back out, and okay, you're good, dude. After that, yeah, it's thing was up here. If it was up here, it would have been easy to know it was a jam finger. It was on this top knuckle, so that's the thing. I mean, he's a tough kid, though. I mean, there's no question he's a tough kid, but yeah, it sucks because he played 4 games, and then he came back, and then on Monday he came back Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday he said to me, "My finger still hurts a lot." I'm like, "It hurts a lot? You told me it felt better. What's wrong?" He says, "I looked up. I might have this called mallet finger." I'm like, "Oh shit!" So you know what I did? I took him right to urgent care. We had him X-rayed, and yeah. If you ever have mallet finger, though, don't ever have your kid put a splint that goes like this, because the urgent care gave him a splint that goes like this, and problem is that it stiffens up this knuckle too. And if this knuckle gets stiffened up, it is very hard to get back. And that's what urgent care did fucking idiots. The splint you should have is it's a finger splint right here that stops right here. It pushes this up so that the bone pushes against it, and that's what he has on right now. And you want to know what he was doing today? Playing basketball. This is why you're 38 with 4 crooked fingers right now. My fingers are pretty okay. I mean, actually, I was the one that pulled a lot of them, but I've broken 3 of them. So I broke my thumb playing basketball. Just tape that shit up. I learned once I broke this finger here that I would never tell a coach that I broke my finger again, because the schools have to actually keep you out. It sucks because they need doctor's notes to let you play. I broke this thumb. Was this thumb? One of them. I broke one of my thumbs, and then at least I believed it was broken because of how much it hurt and for how long it hurt. And then I broke other fingers playing football in high school. I just taped them shits up. Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Miami, realistically, real shit, Miami should be ranked number 1. Miami should be ranked number 1. I mean, I'm not. Notre Dame is ranked number 1 based on what? In these early polls, based on what? They'd be ranked number 1. Yeah, Miami should be ranked number 1. They're still a national dislike. They can say what they want. They still nationally dislike us. But back to the question. I mean, no, it ain't that dude, because he got sold out for Jeff Epstein. Like he had some situation, and he's talked about it, and he's gonna have and there's gonna be a movie coming out. By the way, just be on the lookout. There's gonna be a movie about it. It's real, and so he's talked about it. He's talked about it on his podcast. Like, so I'm not spilling any beans. He's talked about there's gonna be a movie, and you broke your jaw. Oh fuck. You pulled the wire out of your jaw. Oh my fucking God. Jesus Lord. Did you lose weight? I presume you must have lost weight at that time. But no, he got robbed by one of his investors. Like one of his investors or some shit like that he robbed him. Like he trusted the wrong guy who robbed him, and then it turned into something different. And yeah, it's I thought the same thing, dude. See, here's the thing. I was covering the team for Inside the U when this all was going down. I was covering the team, and we all thought the same thing. And then you find out how many people he kept out of prison. Oh, wow. A lot of people could be sitting in federal prison right now if it wasn't for him. He did not snitch. Anyone saying he snitched. Look, the jig was up in terms of Miami. Yeah, they paid players. Okay, fine. Everything that he did then is legal now. That's how stupid this is. Everything that he did then I owned it. Inside the U, I owned it. I founded it. Chris Stock and David Lake were my partners. The site's amazing. They do fucking amazing work. I'm talking. Yeah, someone used the term prison rat, so I knew who I was talking about. David, I've known David since he was in college. I've known David and Chris for 20 plus years. Yeah, I founded it with them. You want the story of that? Shit, that's a fun one. We used to go to the Denny's on South Dixie Highway every week for the most part. But we were all at Kane's Time, which was part of scout.com, which I think is what turned into On3, or did it turn into 24/7? No, Scout was still in existence. So I think Scout may have turned into On. I don't know who the hell bought Scout. Did Rivals buy Scout? I have no idea. But scout.com, we were all with the Kane's Time. Again, I had a full-time job. This was their full thing. They worked for Kane's Time. And Chris worked for the AP as well. And Chris was the editor of the magazine. There was a magazine called Kane's Time Magazine, and then there was the website. And we were all there. We covered the games. We went to the we were this is back in the Orange Bowl. I used to take the pictures. Like the first pictures that you'll see from Kane's from the website from inside the U. I took those pictures because I bought a camera and I was on the field taking. I remember being at the Florida State game against Miami when it poured and we lost. I think it was 45-38 at the Hard Rock. Um, Probably about '09, no 10, '08, whatever year it was where it was actually a monsoon at the Hard Rock. Antoine Smith, who went to Pahokee, he went to Florida State. That was the game he went off. And walking back to the car, it was like leg high, like thigh, knee to thigh high water in the parking lot. I was absolutely drenched out there, but I used to take all the pictures and write and so forth. But yeah, after we founded that we decided that we wanted to start our own thing, and we had a dinner at dinner. That was dinner for us, Denny's on South Dixie Highway by UM. And I had a web designer who I was friends with. He built the site for us. He built everything for us. I think that site cost us like $500, $1,000, something like that. Back then we were all broke. So we put our little money together to get it done and it got built and I mean it was pretty cool. And then we started off with ESPN. ESPN, we were one of the first we were the first ESPN site. That us and Bucknuts. We were like one of the first few ESPN sites. But ESPN provided no back office or back support, nothing. They provided shit. And so all the paywalls were ours. And then 24/7 comes along and starts and reaches out to Chris. And we made the decision at the time to go jump on 24/7 because they were former people executives up at either Rivals or Scout. And it seemed like a good idea. I mean, it has turned into a great idea for them, but at the time I wasn't thrilled about it. Definitely a behemoth now in comparison to what it was then. But about 2013, 14, I was living in North Broward County. I was married, I had kids, and it was just like they were still single guys with no children and living by UM, and I just couldn't put in the time. I sold my piece off to them. I'm like, it was great, a great run, but we founded we founded the site at a Denny's and on South Dixie Highway. It's crazy. I live in Pompano Beach, so like yeah, yeah. But I was one of the founders and owners of Inside the U. Um, how many natties do I think we have to win for them to even? They'll never build us a stadium. It'll never happen. It will never happen. It will never happen. You can't. First of all, you cannot put the University of Miami Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Like no. I live 5 minutes from Lockhart. I would love it to be at Lockhart. Will never happen. Ever. They would have to rebuild that stadium again. First, they have to rebuild it because it would need to be moved up to 60,000 people. It only seats like 20,000 for soccer, 25,000 for soccer. They would have to jump it up to 60,000, 65,000. And that neighborhood cannot support that. Like there's no infrastructure there. They'd have to build parking lots and Commercial Drive is a nightmare. Even for soccer, I cannot imagine what commercial would look like for a University of Miami football game. It won't happen. There's nowhere to put it. Like there's no land left. Yeah, Extreme Action Park. I live right by. I live on Atlantic. I live off Atlantic, just east of 95. So I live between Atlantic and Cypress, just east of 95. So that's 5 minutes from my house. Shit. If you hate when them soccer games happen, you will hate if they put the Hurricanes at Lockhart. It would be a logistical traffic nightmare. It would be horrible. There's just no space left for stadiums in South Florida unless you tear a whole bunch of shit down. And where are you tearing shit down in? You already know where you tear shit down. You tear shit down in the hood. That's where land is cheaper, and that's where they would build it. So you're kicking people out of their homes. I'm not a fan of that crap. There's not a lot there. Yeah, I live 5 minutes away from there. I used to go to. I mean, I live 5 minutes from Extreme Action Park, for real. Um, yeah, it ain't gonna happen. They could win 10 championships in a row, and that wouldn't happen. There's nowhere to put it. You can't put it in Coral Gables. It's landlocked. It's a mess. You can't put it in Gables. You can't. Tropical Park was a John Ruiz pipe dream. Like again, you're not tearing down a city park. Like how many city parks are we gonna tear down for a stadium? They just tore down a golf course for this monstrosity for a soccer team. Like let's be real. Let's remove ourselves for a second in this soccer situation. As if the airport don't have enough traffic off of 836. What the hell's gonna happen when they have a soccer game there next year or this year at 7 o'clock at night on a weeknight during rush hour? Oh my god. They tore down a golf course for this crap. What they should have done was they should have built a multi-use stadium for the Hurricanes. Hurricanes, hey man, anytime, New King. Hurricanes, soccer, they should have built a multi-use 65 to 70,000 seat stadium right there. Instead, they want to build apartments and shopping plazas and all that fuckery and practice fields. No, that should have been built for the Hurricanes and the Inter Miami soccer team. Period. They're building that giant stadium next to the airport. It's stupid. Like they could have freaking built that. That would have made sense for Miami. That's like 10 minutes away from campus. It's literally 10 minutes from campus. 15. It's not that far from campus. It's actually probably equidistant to where the Orange Bowl was comparably. No, that's seriously 25,000 people, maybe 30,000. They built a 25, 30,000. Let me look it up. Freedom Park. Let's look it up. We're here. Freedom Park. And the stadium's built. I think it's almost built, almost completely built. Or it's close. Roof is progressing. Okay, so they're behind schedule, probably, of course. Like they want to build, they're gonna have like look at this. This rendition is beautiful. It looks great. You got all these soccer fields around it. You got an apartment building next door. You're building a bunch of restaurants and shit. Okay, it's cute. It's wonderful. It may be beautiful. Why in the fucking hell would you not make that a part of the Miami Hurricanes? Like this is insane. Like it's real nice looking. Great. Let me find it where it says this. This is a soccer field, bro. They don't even have an upper deck on this thing, bro. It's all lower level, man. It's all a lower level facility. This is gonna be see 20,000, 25,000 people. They could have made this awesome. Like you could have made this. Can you imagine the Hurricanes played here every night? Like you would have people tailgating all day, even more than now. They would just go to restaurants all around the like. Where can you go to a restaurant by Hard Rock? Like who's going to a restaurant in Miami Gardens if you don't live there? Miami Stadium, Bobby Maduro that got torn down that was for the Baltimore Orioles. Whether it was shitty or not, like the soccer team before Messi was atrocious. It was horrible. Freedom Park capacity 25,000. 25,000 seats. They built a soccer stadium specifically for soccer. Y'all want to think of how ridiculous that is? That they built a stadium specifically for soccer when we had a baseball team playing in a football field for fucking a decade and a half. Or more than that. When did Marlins Park finally get built? Marlins Park got built in 2012. We had a baseball team play in a football stadium 19 years, 20 years, and you're not making a multi-use fucking stadium for a football, soccer, which actually makes sense for sightlines. Like, come on. Any of y'all ever went to a Marlins game when they were playing at Joe Robbie? Ever sit on the first base or third base line? They were the worst seats ever. Jake, anytime, bro. Anytime. Um, they were the worst seats ever. The way that stadium jutted out like this, because it's built for football, you're on the first baseline. If you're sitting in your chair like this, you're looking at center field. You'd have to physically turn your body like this to see home plate. And then you'd have everyone walking down the aisles in front because of how it's designed. It was horrible. But if you go to a regular baseball stadium, it's curves. So the curvature prevents the people from cutting in front of you. They don't block your view. The worst configuration ever. But again, it was a football stadium. They could have built a multi-use stadium for the Hurricanes and for Inter Miami. They chose not to. It's typical Miami corruption. Like, what do you want? Typical city of Miami corruption. The corruption in the city of Miami is out of control. It never will. It'll never stop. So, but yeah, but I'll go back to the one thing that there's another guy in the Miami space. How do they feel about soccer here? Nobody cares. How do they feel? Nobody gives a shit. The day that Lionel Messi leaves, when he says I'm done, dude's almost 40. Like, or he's about to be 40. Or he is 40. Lionel Messi age. 38. When he's done, that fucking franchise is done. Nobody's gonna watch that shit anymore. Well, again, that's a certain section of people that care. And it was a lot worse when he first got here. It's not as bad. It's not as bad. I wouldn't have put it on the stadium either. Who do you think paid for that stadium? Who do you think paid? Who owns Inter Miami? You know, you're never going to have it at Tropical Park. It's impossible. You're not tearing down one of the largest city parks for a football stadium. Like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're coming right. Coming right off of 826. I mean 826 and the whole nine. Yeah, I mean, logistical traffic nightmare, and people in that neighborhood would fucking hate it, especially on Miller. People in Miller would hate it. Those are multi-million-dollar homes on Miller right there. They're like, yeah, and you ain't putting you're not putting a football stadium on top of my house. Not a freaking chance. You tell me, novice, if you have a house across the street from Tropical Park right now, the houses there are in the multi-million-dollar range now. You think I'm gonna sit by and watch you build a football stadium across the street from my crib? Oh, no way. No way. No. Not a chance. Not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. Are we doing that? Like right now, I'm gonna go over to Miller. Let's look at Miller Drive right now. Where is Tropical Park? Okay, over here. Tropical Park. Miller Drive. I just picked up a random house here. Why isn't it clicking? Like you like the traffic that you would experience would be absolutely out of control. $1.6 million, 2.4. The houses that are literally lining Tropical Park on Southwest 82nd Avenue that have a lake behind it, Lake Catalina, and are two, three, four, $3 million. $3 million. Like, there's no way that these individuals are letting a stadium get built across the street from their home. Not a chance. And then there's a neighborhood also that, like, it's an area. There's some that are under, like, between 5 million and 500K and 1.5 million. But a large majority of a lot of these houses are going for over $1 million plus, $2 million, and they're looking at that park and where they would have to what they'd have to tear down to do it. Like, it would be torn down right where Tropical Park's field is right now. All those tennis courts would go. They have to fill in that lake and fill that up and dredge it, or however you do it. You have to fill it up with dirt to make it concrete. And there's no way that would ever happen. Not a chance. No way. They could have put it there in pork and beans. They could have. Yeah. I mean, they could have torn down Wynwood and actually put a stadium there instead of putting a bunch of fucking shitty ass bars. Bunch of bummy ass bars. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this off. There's another guy who's been hating on Miami Hurricanes coaching, and he claims to love the Hurricanes, and all he can do is shit talk Kevin Beard. Like, they don't develop receivers, they don't do this, they don't do that. Their speed sucks. Da, 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 da. Oh, you don't play local guys. Well, I'm sorry, the local guy got to earn his time. Like JoJo Trader, how many passes does he have to drop to earn his time? Like, how many passes did JoJo Trader have to drop? And still you criticize the coach and not the player. At some point, we got to criticize the player and have people accountable. And they don't want to do that. So, they'd rather just blame coaches. Richmond Heights. God, I used to live in Perrine. I lived in Perrine for about 8 months. That was a hell of an experience. That was a hell of a. I mean, where the hell would you put it in Richmond Heights? Next to Wynwood would be nice for the outsiders. Oh my God. No, this is not a WNBA show tonight, man. You got to experience that yesterday. This is the real shit right here. God, look at this crap. Sunset Drive has a house for $11.5 million. What the fuck? Oh my God. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. $11.5 million house in Sunset Drive. Jesus. Oh my, that's a castle. Oh my God. Where the hell would you build this in Richmond Heights? I'm going to Richmond Heights now. I'm looking at my map. I mean, well, that's I mean, maybe you could build it at Metro Zoo. Me? Nah, man. Nah, man. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. What are you talking about? My podcast started on women's basketball, just so you know. We started off on general sports, and I did a video on Caitlin Clark, and it exploded. And I just morphed into doing a lot of women's basketball. Now, do I like women's basketball? Not really. I love Caitlin Clark. I love her game. But the sport itself, it's a toxic ass environment, and it makes for very, very, very polarizing conversation, which is very helpful in the podcast world. It just is. The podcast world is largely supported by negativity, just so you know. You know that. I mean, our country is largely based on negativity. I mean, that's what it is. Coral Reef High School. You want to tear down Coral Reef High School? That's not nice. They're not tearing down Coral Reef High School, man. That's funny. Goodness gracious. Anyhow, folks, man, I'm gonna jump out of here, man. Appreciate y'all jumping on board. Yeah, we're talking about building a UM. No, it'll never happen. I know it'll never happen. I was talking about they should have made that damn stadium for the soccer team a multi-use stadium for the Inter Miami team and the Hurricanes. They made that a multi-use stadium and made it for 60,000 people, 65,000 people. That would have made more sense than the bullshit that they did. That would be funny. Yeah, you ain't got to argue it. I mean, you ain't. I agree with you. I agree with you. I've already said enough mean shit. I'm good. Oh, the WNBA Players Association, a bunch of fucking morons. That's the mean shit. Yeah, a bunch of dumb motherfuckers in that damn league. Stupid fucks. But anyhow, I'm out of here, man. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments, man. Jump on the merch site. Grab some t-shirts, people. I appreciate it. I thank y'all. I love y'all. God bless. Good night. It's Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.